Hey guys, so today's video is going to be on the look that I am wearing right now. I'm super excited because I love the way that this turned out. I was shopping the other day online for some makeup, of course, and I was on the Makeup Geek website looking through the individual eyeshadows, and when I went through the duochrome eyeshadows, I came across the shade Havoc. It's not new to Makeup Geek, but I don't own the shadow, so I thought, okay, well, I'll go in and I'll just purchase it. It's really pretty. But when I got it in the mail, it was beyond pretty. Like, I swatched it on my hand, and the reflex between the green and the red, oh, it was so awesome. Like, I had to do something. I was like, I have to put something bold and red in my crease and then throw that shadow on there. So anyway, I got really excited about it and I did this. I know that a lot of times color can tend to scare people, especially bold colors like red and things like that. But if you are interested in adding a little bit more color to your look, maybe this will give you a few ideas of ways that you can add it into your night out look or what have you that you might not have thought of before. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Keep watching if you'd like to see how I got this look, and we will get into the video.
Hey guys, so today I'm going to be starting off by priming my eyes as per usual with the Urban Decay primer potion and the purple anti-aging one, and I'm just going to prime both lids and underneath as well. Then I'm going to go ahead and set that primer with this shadow here and a Real Techniques setting brush from the Morphe 35OM palette. That's the main palette I'm going to be using today. Then I take this Bedellium Tool 787 brush and my two wonderful shades from Makeup Geek, Creme Brûlée and Peach Smoothie that I use in almost every single look that I do to go in my crease and a little bit above my crease. And then I take the Sigma E40 and I just kind of blend those together kind of up high above my hood to make sure that you can see those colors when I open my eyes and to make sure there are no harsh lines. Then I'm going to take this really pretty kind of caramely brown shade from the palette, and I'm going to take that on a Sigma E25, and I'm going to put that in my crease and a little bit above my crease up onto my hood as well, just not as high as Peach Smoothie and Creme Brûlée so that it makes a nice gradient. And I go back and I blend with my Sigma E40. Just make sure you're blending all those shadows together so that there are no harsh lines. And I kind of create a little bit of like a catty wing with this as well. I take it out on a little bit longer to make it look nice and elongated to create an open look. And then I take this really pretty orangey brown shade from the palette, and I'm going to take that on my trusty steed, my MAC 226. And I'm going to put that in my crease and then a little bit higher than my crease, but not as high as the previous caramel shade that I used. And what that's going to do is just create a nice gradient effect going from your lighter shadows to your darker shadows. I'm going to go back in with my Sigma E40 and blend all of those shadows together once again. Making sure that you blend your shadows every single step of the way is just going to ensure that you don't have any harsh lines when you go to put your darker shadows on top, like this beautiful shade right here from the palette. It's so pretty. It's like a deep reddish brown type color, and I'm going to take that back on my MAC 226 and just put that in my crease, and not quite as high as the, sorry, a little dance break there, not quite as high as the previous orangey red shade, again making that gradient so it goes from light to dark. And just take your time with this if you're using bold colors, because really just putting it in really precisely is, making sure that you take care to do that will just help you in the long run. Then I'm going to go back in with the Sigma E25 with no additional product and just blend the edges of those colors together. It's a lot of blending when you use colors like this, but just take your time and make sure that you blend precisely. Then I'm going to go in with the star of the show, this beautiful shade right here. It's so awesome. This is Havoc from Makeup Geek. This is the duochrome shadow that I was talking about. I'm taking this on this Luxie concealer brush. I will link the number of the brush down below because I don't have it right in front of me. But with these duochrome shadows, you kind of just have to really press the shadow into the lid. And I felt like it wasn't getting as metallic as I wanted, so I went ahead and I sprayed some MAC Fix Plus on my brush and dipped it back into the shadow and applied that back to my lid, and it was much, much more metallic and much more duochrome after I did that. So I went ahead and applied that to both lids again, just to intensify it a little bit more. Then I went back into the palette in that really beautiful red shade again, back on my MAC 226, and I just wanted to blend the line between that red shade and Havoc just to make sure that it looked smooth and it didn't look too harsh. even though it kind of folds back in the crease of my eye, just to kind of blend that in a little bit. Now I'm going to go in with the Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer. Unfortunately, I started to do this primer and I did not realize how much fallout that red shadow gave me on my cheeks, and it made my entire face red, like totally red. As you can see here, I wasn't having that. And I was like, okay, we're going to have to start again. So I have my trusty Formula 1006 Keep Me Clean makeup wipes, and I'm like, you know what, let me wipe my face from all that fallout. But then I also used it to kind of clean up the shadow as well. I sort of wiped it into a little bit more of a cattier line. Let's try this again. So I went back in with my Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer, and I just massaged this into my skin, just to prep the skin for the foundation that I'm going to be using, which is this one right here. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation. I am in the shade R330, and I started using it on this pure sponge, but I just kind of wasn't having the way that it was blending it out, so I went ahead and switched to my Morphe, I believe this is the M459 brush, to kind of work that into my skin. And I still kind of felt like for some reason my freckles were showing through this day, so I went in with the Motives concealer palette right here. This is in the shade light to medium, I believe it is. Back in with that pure sponge and just kind of added a little layer of concealer over my freckles in areas where I have a little bit of sun damage. Then I went back over that with a little bit more foundation and my Morphe M459 brush and worked it into my skin. Gotta pull back that hair, because you know, us blondes can't get any foundation in the hair because you can see it. Then I went in with my concealer for this day, and I was using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I use this to conceal underneath my eyes as well as highlight my face, and I'm using the shade Fair to do so. Then I went in and I started blending with the same pure sponge again, and it did okay on like my forehead, but when I got to my eye area, I felt like the sponge was just so dense and so harsh on my under eye area that I went ahead and I switched it out for my beauty blender, because when you have a little bit more mature skin under the eyes, using something really hard and tugging at the skin like that just pulls at it, and it makes your concealer settle even worse into those fine lines and wrinkles, so you want to be really gentle around that area. So I went in and did that. Then I went in and I set it with the Kat Von D setting powder. I am in the shade Petal, and I set underneath my eyes as well as my forehead with this powder. And voila, my brows are done. I went ahead and did my brows off camera because I'm going to do a full brow tutorial on how I fill in my brows. But I went ahead and set it with some Anastasia Clear Brow Gel to keep those in place. Then I went in and I finished my eyes. This is the Lord & Berry Black Eye Kohl. This is an awesome eye kohl. Sorry that is such a creepy shot, but this is the best eye kohl. It stays on my waterline like glue. Then on my bottom waterline, I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I'm using this NYX eye pencil in the shade Moss, but I felt like it wasn't showing through the green as well, so I went in with this L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow, and I kind of set that eyeliner down with a little bit of shadow. And it kind of sounds crazy to put shadow in your waterline, but it really does help to intensify any kind of a look that you have, or kind of set that, just like if you were using a cream. And that Infallible color was number 333 Golden Sage. Then I went in with the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette on a short smudger brush, and I kind of drew a little bit of a line right along my lash line from my inner corners to that wing. And I went back in with the red shade, and I kind of smoked it out just a little tiny bit. And I'm using the Morphe M321 brush. I have a gazillion of these. I love this brush. And I kind of just smudged it a little bit more because I went back in again with the next shade that I'm going to be using from the palette, that caramel shade, and I smoked that out. Then I'm going to go in and contour my face today. I'm using the Benefit Hoola Bronzer and my Nars Ita Brush to contour my cheeks. It's really important when you're contouring to make sure that when you are blending your contour, you don't blend too far down. So as you can see, I'm kind of going up onto my cheekbone just a little bit. But what that's going to do is create a nice shadow underneath your cheekbones and make them look nice and high. Then I went in and contoured my forehead. You want to contour the sides of your forehead, leaving the center of your forehead alone, because what that's going to do is going to draw the light to the middle of your face, which is what you want. Then I contoured out my jawline just to make it look nice and sharp, as I usually do. Then I'm going to go in with blush. This is the Tarte Bling It On blush palette, and I am using the shade Creme here in the middle because I wanted something that was a fairly neutral blush because I wanted the eyes to really stand out. Then I went ahead and blended that out with the e.l.f. angled blush brush. And I took this e.l.f. Powder brush and the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I just warmed up my skin a little bit, and then I drug it down my neck just to make sure everything matched. Then to highlight my face, I'm going to be using the Becca highlighter in the shade Champagne Pop. And I'm just kind of highlighting my cheekbones, the bridge of my nose, and my Cupid's bow. Then I'm going to go in and I applied mascara, and I'm going to pop on these falsies right here. These are the Kiss falsies with the Kiss Lash Glue, and voila. Now I'm going to go in and do my lips. I'm lining with the Urban Decay lip liner in the shade Naked, and then I top that off with Kat Von D Everlasting Lipstick in the shade Noble. Then I wanted a little bit of a sheen, so I popped on this guy right here. This is the Buxom Faux Lip Cream in White Russian. This is an absolutely beautiful lip gloss to put over top lipstick. And I finished it off with my MAC Fix Plus to set my face, but I kind of felt like it wasn't enough, so I went back in with a little bit more, and I used the Milani Make It Last setting spray, and I just sprayed my whole face with that. It was a lot of setting spray, so I had to dry myself off. Apparently a lot. And this hair was not getting it. So I took my hair down and tried to figure out what to do with it. And this is what I came up with.
So that completes this look. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. I got that eyeshadow in the mail and I almost died when I saw the duochrome, so I had to use something where it was kind of like the star of the show. I do feel like the lip got a little bit too pinky peach, so I went in and I added a little bit of this. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Catsuit Matte Lipstick, and this is in the shade Nudie Patootie to kind of get that lip a little bit more nude so that the eyes really stood out. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more from me. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget SPF is your best friend, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!